Hi, welcome to Learn with Radha. As you all know that we have been going through a very difficult time. The spread of COVID-19 has taken a toll of many lives, and the spread of this virus is so fast that we can't even trace it to all the levels. So the best we can do is to isolate ourselves. Here are some strategies and measures by which we can prevent ourselves or to mitigate or to reduce the effect of this disease. So here's the video. Thank you so much for watching.
Strategies to combat the outbreak of an infectious disease. A disease could be described in several ways. We have basic terms like sporadic, cluster, endemic, hyperendemic, epidemic, outbreak, and pandemic, which describe a disease based on the occurrence in a geographical area. Like in epidemic, it covers certain area. In pandemic, that disease when occurs worldwide, it is called pandemic. So this is how the occurrence of disease is described by these terms. When a disease covers a small area, what is that disease called? Then if it covers a larger area, then what is the term given to that disease? So this is how a disease can be classified based on the occurrence in a geographical area. There are certain other factors which describe a disease. These factors are disease prevalence, incidence, and the known or unknown disease pathways. And a general term is epidemiology, which describes the distribution of a disease in a population. Now these terms, what are these terms which describe a disease, the occurrence of disease? Like the first one is sporadic. Terms, we have spores. This term spores have come from bacteria, because bacteria, the initial stages, the dormant stages of the bacteria, they are spores, but they are able to cause a disease. So certain foodborne pathogens, the pathogens which occurred in food, they are known as foodborne pathogens. Bacteria like Salmonella and E. coli, they causes sporadic disease outbreak, and it occurs irregularly and infrequently. Why it occurs irregularly and infrequently? Because spores occurs in a specific time, in a specific condition. So these type of diseases, they occur irregularly and infrequently. The next is cluster. The diseases like cancer, which are not infectious but occur in large numbers, and the actual number is uncertain. We don't know the actual number of cases related to cancer, and so they occur in cluster. And why they occur in cluster? Cluster means groups. So it occurs in groups because any chemical blunder which occurs, any chemical disaster which occurs, it occurs in a particular area and at a particular time, and occur to a particular thing, like it's some plant have certain chemical imbalances. So the people who are eating up on those plants, they get that disease. So it occurs in cluster. Next is endemic. Diseases like malaria and chickenpox, which are prevalent and constantly present in a geographic population. So malaria is very prevalent in Africa. So in that geographic population, malaria is endemic. Now, what is hyperendemic? When you compare the population of a geographic region and you find that a certain disease is found only in that area but not found in another area. Like HIV is hyperendemic to parts of Africa because it is very common to that area, the population of that area, because 1 in 5 adults has this disease. So this disease is persistent and in high levels as compared to geographic population of other other region. So next one is the difference between epidemic and pandemic. We have discussed endemic. Endemic means in a geographic population which a disease is prevalent only in that geographic region and it constantly found in that geographic region. But epidemic is when a disease is it affects many persons at the same time and spread from person to person. That means epidemic disease is an infectious disease. Any infectious disease, it occurs, it spread from person to person and sometimes it affects many persons at the same time in a locality where the disease is not permanently prevalent. That means that disease has come from other geographical region, other population. It is not permanently prevalent. It is found only at a certain time. It is temporary, but it is affecting many individuals at a time and is spreading continuously. After reaching to a certain stage, after reaching to a larger population, that epidemic becomes pandemic because it is occurring on larger scale and even crosses international boundaries, usually affecting people on a worldwide scale. On March 11, it has been declared that COVID-19 is a pandemic disease. COVID-19 outbreak, a pandemic, has been declared by WHO due to the global spread and severity of the disease. So, there is a term COVID-19 outbreak. Outbreak. What is outbreak now? Outbreak is a sudden breaking out or occurrence or eruption. If anything bursts out or there is sudden breaking out, that is outbreak. An infectious disease causes sudden rise in cases affecting individuals in a localized area. A person, COVID-19 is a disease which can be spread from a person. It can affect even thousands, hundreds and thousands of people at a 1 second. So it is like outbreak. How do we manage the outbreak of a disease? Management is very important to control the outbreak of the disease. The first one is containment. We have two basic strategies, containment and mitigation. Containment is undertaken during the early stages of spread. Like if a person is found to be infected with the disease, he should be first isolated from the rest of the individuals. And with the help of contact tracing, we would be able to identify the persons who have physically came in contact with that person and then isolating these individuals to stop the spread of the disease to the rest of the population. So this is the containment strategy. When the disease is no longer spreading, management moves to mitigation. As soon as we control, we have achieved that basic thing, containment, we move on to the next stage, mitigation. Next stage of management is mitigation, where we have to these measures are taken to slow down the spread of the disease and reduce its effect on society and healthcare system. So after controlling, you have to reduce its effect by using factors like isolation, quarantine, social distancing. These are certain measures which can mitigate or slow down the spread of the disease. So these two basic strategies, containment and mitigation, they must be undertaken simultaneously. Now, what is the term flattening the curve? We have been hearing this term for a long while, but we should be knowing this term. What is flattening of curve? Flattening of curve, basically flattening means to slow down the spread of the disease, to reduce the number of cases, to reduce the number of infected individuals is basically the flattening of epidemic curve. I am showing you a figure. You can see here we have on y-axis number of cases, on the x-axis we have time since first case. So number of cases, as the time passes, the number of cases are increasing and we have achieved a peak when we are without protective measures. Like in the first graph, you are seeing the first graph, the red color graph, a peak, a certain peak have been achieved. This is epidemic peak. And when you increase the health system capacity, when there is rise in the health system capacity and you take proper protective measures, preventive measures, the number of cases, they decrease after certain time period. So with the protective measures we can decrease or flatten the epidemic curve. So that was the flattening of the epidemic curve. How this can be achieved? We know that healthcare systems, they are doing their work, but non-pharmaceutical interventions may also be undertaken to manage the outbreak. Like nowadays we are doing the sanitization, the large scale sanitization of public transport system, public area. So these are non-pharmaceutical interventions that are also helpful in reducing or flattening the curve. Personal preventive measures can also be undertaken, can also be done, like hand hygiene, wearing mask and self quarantine. These are personal preventive measures which can help in flattening the curve. Community measures aimed at social distancing, such as closing schools and cancelling mass gatherings, and environmental measures such as cleaning of surfaces. So these are some preventive measures which can reduce the peak of the curve. The present scenario of India says that we are going toward upwards, and so a peak may be achieved. We are at the initial phase because the the disease is increasing day by day. There is a rise in the curve. There is a straightening of the curve. And in other countries like Japan, Singapore, Hong Kong, this increase of the curve shows that they are also at the initial phases of the spread of the disease. We have discussed two basic strategies, containment and mitigation, to control the disease. Last one is suppression. Suppression requires more extreme long-term non-pharmaceutical intervention. After mitigation, when we reduce the curve, the peak of the curve, and flatten the curve, we have to reduce it to 1. We have to reduce the disease to 0, and this could be done with the last strategy, which is suppression. So suppression requires non-pharmaceutical intervention so as to reverse the pandemic by reducing basic reproduction number to less than 1. And what is basic reproduction number? It is a number of an infection which is expected. It is the expected number of cases directly generated by one case in a population where all individuals are susceptible to infections. Like if a person is infected and it is present in a mass gathering, he could infect all those individuals at a particular time. So this is how those individuals, they are susceptible or at risk for that infection. So we have to reduce that basic reproduction number to 1, which can only be done with population wide social distancing, home isolation of cases, and household quarantine. So this is how we can manage the outbreak of the disease, and we could flatten the curve. The least we can do is social distancing and home quarantine ourselves. So stay safe and stay updated. Thank you so much for watching.